Dan here in the Northview Model Shop, and welcome to Modeling 101, Basic Hand Tools. Alright guys, these in front of you here are the basic hand tools you should have at hand when starting your first model kit. First and foremost is a good X-Acto blade or hobby knife. Name brands work a little bit better. Just because they're made of a little bit better material. I've bought some cheaper ones. We're trying to cut a sprue or filing an edge has actually broken the cheap pieces here, and these blades are sharp. You want to be careful. So money well spent here just for the safety. You can get a pretty nasty cut from these. They come in many different shapes and sizes and variants. This is just a straight standard. I think that's like $3. This one here was a little bit more expensive because it has a knurled end, and one here as well for better grip and control. Here's a fancy one, which is funny because this is a dollar store one, but it's got a bit more of a grip. Now we're not a big fan of that. It's big and bulky, but you can get many different variations. Any more than $3 or $4 for one of these, you're paying too much. The more you're going to pay for it, it better come with spare blades. With that, here in the model shop, we prefer a number 11 X-Acto blade. You can buy these through online by the 100. You can get them at your local store for probably by the 5 or 10 packs. And these are not overly that expensive, probably $2 or $3, probably, depending where you get them from. Moving on, you want to get yourself a set of good sprue cutters or cutting your parts from the trees. Guys, honestly, here, the more money you spend is probably for the best. These are Xronics, I don't know who they are, but anyway, these are a really good quality pair. I found these work really well. I just recently purchased these. Before I was using a cheap dollar store brand clipper, and parts fly everywhere. Things are getting marled and bent up. Honestly, these I think online retail for about $25. I know that sounds ridiculous, but believe me, if you're going to spend money on any expensive tool, here's a good one. So, pair of cutters. Tweezers. These are spring-loaded, reverse what you're probably used to, but you go and raid the medicine cabinet, you can get the traditional style tweezer. Makes it really good for holding parts. Like I said, honestly guys, the dollar store is your best friend when getting started into modeling, and even the most experienced models still rely on the dollar store. But so that. Now we're getting into getting parts together, and you want to move on, but you don't want to sit there holding for your glue to dry. Clamps. These are just a small spring-loaded clamp. Once again, dollar store fine. A good assortment of those. To a lesser extent, the old clothespin has been a staple in modeling toolboxes for decades and generations. Usually you can get these by the 100 at the dollar stores or the hardware stores for next to nothing. Very valuable. Sandpapers. You can buy a kit that gives you basic sandpapers, but traditionally here we try to keep on hand some 220, some 400, and 600 is all we really used when we first got started for doing basic sanding, and that's for cleaning up some excess glue, some seam lines, and filling. With filling, you want to get a little, some putties. This to me in putty white is good stuff and not overly that expensive. For sink marks and for nicks and gouges you may cause on your own or a poor fitting kit, the putty helps with a lot. Green putty from Squadron is another really good product we like to use here in the shop as well. Using the putty, you need to sand, and if you're not with paper is to do larger areas, but getting sanding sticks, and these are really for I get these at the dollar store, and they're for find them in the beauty section of the dollar store, and they're for nail files or doing your nails. We buy these by the 100 for $1, and they don't last long, but I mean for $1, these are like 1 cent a piece, and we usually get a model or two out of them, so they're valuable. Alright guys, moving on to some other weirder things, but won't be too uncommon. Q-tips. If you get some Q-tips in hand, especially when you do your decals, you find when we first started, we used Q-tips to flatten out decals and sop up little extra water setting solutions. And toothpicks. Toothpicks are really valuable when you're mixing paint or If you need to apply a little bit of super glue, we found dabbing the super glue on your on an old piece of cardboard and then using the Q-tip tip, or the toothpick tip to apply the glue where you needed it. These guys are your basic hand tools that, when getting started, you should have on hand to build your first model. Alright guys, thanks a million. Adios.